What's going on, you guys? This is Mario back in the video. So this video I want to talk about some cities that I would like to visit, in the future because I met so many awesome people from around the country, on Discord, on YouTube, or the forum sites I'm on, and just awesome just to talk to people from 2,000 miles away from you. Some people from the whole other country. Like it's so amazing just how powerful the internet is, where you can like bring people together for different like accents and different cultures and different um walks of life. And like I've really that's one of the great things about America is that we have all this diversity. We have all this cultures blending into one thing. That's known as American culture. So here are just some top five cities in no particular order because it is hard to like compete with other places, spots. But here's just some top five cities that I like to visit. When I'm older, when I got you know I have more stable income and all that jazz. So number five, I want to start with San Diego, California. The reason why I started with this list because San Diego, I haven't really thought much of San Diego, other than the fact that one of my favorite TV shows took place in San Diego on BET, The Game. They used to come on BET and CW. So San Diego, I learned a lot about San Diego just by talking to Nerdy Gamer and Jacqueline from in the 2000s, and they talked about how San Diego's like right on the Mexican border, like you guys are like right there, and it's just like you know crazy how close it is to Mexico, and the fact that San Diego, um, even though it's close to Mexico, there's still a lot of predominantly Caucasian neighborhoods, predominantly white neighborhoods. And San Diego, because Jacqueline told us that she grew up in a very upper class neighborhood in San Diego, and I was just like, oh wow, And then Nerdy Gamer, he said he went to school with he went to school with white kids, black kids, Mexicans, Koreans. It was just like wow, that's really dope. So San Diego seems like a really cool city, and plus Nick Cannon's from San Diego. I've always thought he was from LA, and then Nick Cannon he talked about how there were gang issues in San Diego back in like the '90s and stuff. But he was like smart to know that he's smart to realize at a young age that this lifestyle was going to end my life. So that's why he just went to acting and just went straight to Nickelodeon. And I was like, wow, because San Diego's not, San Diego doesn't get a lot of street cred. It doesn't get talked about in media as much. I never heard anybody think I never like I don't hear nobody talk about San Diego as far as like the worst, worst cities, like the worst crime rates. Nobody ever mentions San Diego. Like people say L.A. or Chicago or New York or Philly or cities like in the East Coast or Midwest. Usually get the hood, the hood street cred, image. Whereas like San Diego gets like the surfer, hey dudes, type of image, but yeah, San Diego seems really cool. Definitely a place I want to visit just because I have two of my friends stay there, and oh yeah, now it's got another friend stay there. I played PlayStation 4 with him, Rocket League with him. So I got three friends that stay in San Diego. So that's a place that I'll definitely visit in the future. Next spot is another city in Cali, LA. LA's been a place I've been wanting to visit for the longest. Like just because it's LA, like Hollywood, Long Beach, just the culture, the film culture, the beach culture there. I mean, LA just seems like a really cool spot. And then spoken word poetry, like definitely someone who's into big into spoken word poetry. Like I was like just being in LA just feels right, And then just hear so many differences between New York and LA, like comparison videos, like how LA is like complete opposite of New York, where New York is like fast paced, gritty, urban. Everybody takes a train, everybody takes a taxi. Whereas LA is like everybody drives, and it's very big on like going to the beach and stuff like that. So like New York is more of like the old American, you know, great way of urban life living, whereas LA is like a new way of urban living. And like I always like to live in LA because it's just so many great things about it. I mean, of course, Hollywood, you have, the surfing, the culture, skate culture. The tacos I heard tacos are pretty legit. In and Out Burger, like a lot of people say In and Out was like banging. Like a lot of my West Coast friends say it's banging over there. So yeah, LA is definitely a spot that definitely a city I would love to visit. Next city on this list, Atlanta. Atlanta is, you know, Atlanta is pretty dope. I can't believe I still haven't been to Atlanta yet, even though I'm like 6 hours away from Atlanta. You know, but and I even got family that's in Atlanta, so it's kind of surprising that I never been to Atlanta yet, even though Atlanta's like right, at my back door essentially, because I'm in North Carolina and I'm in the North Carolina South Carolina borderline, so Atlanta's not that far away from me. But Atlanta's kind of seems I want to visit LA. Spoken word out, it's big over there. The food scene is pretty, pretty big up there. And then I also got a friend that's still over there. M2G96, from in the 2000s. Like, he's really cool. We the same age, and I kind of feel like, we just like, I feel like we just like grew up together in the distance, like like just the stuff he talks about, from his childhood, just how it relates to my childhood, like the games he grew up playing, how he was parented, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, like, even though he kind of grew up more in the upper class, echelon of society. I mean, he still kind of saw like both sides of the spectrum, because he said he got family in New York, and got family like like in Georgia and Alabama, stuff like that. So he always saw like different ways of life clash together, and like that's why I feel like Atlanta is like such a cool city, because even Atlanta's like I always consider Atlanta the dirty South. I mean, you have like a lot of like you know transplants moving into the city that makes it more like modern um and more how can I say this, more friendly towards people who from the north or people from the west coast, people who have more liberal views, whereas like Georgia's more, it's like very red, deeply conservative, Bible Belt, Christian, all the stuff you associate with the South. So like I would love to visit Atlanta. Atlanta, the hip hop scene is pretty big. Atlanta hip hop scene has been killing it for the last 15 years now. So like Atlanta's been killing it with rap for the longest. I mean, it surpassed New York in like man in no time. Like after Outkast said the South got something to say in 90 like five, like that, Atlanta just like took off from there. Like that whole Outkast speech he did, the source sports, like it just then you had the Olympics that happened like a year later, which really like grew the city to massive peaks. People, because Atlanta's now taking serious. It made people take Atlanta seriously as a city, because Atlanta's like such a small city, but yet people know about it on TV, from music, from Real Housewives, from Tyler Perry movies. Like Atlanta's like so well known for like a small city, and it's like crazy. So Atlanta's definitely a city I'll visit. Number four would be Miami. Now Miami, Miami's the thing about Miami is so cool is that, and the thing about Florida in general that's so cool about it is that Florida is like, even though Florida's like technically the South, it's in the deep South, but like because Florida has so many different cultures, a lot of people don't feel like it's southern enough to be South. Like you have redneck culture, you have Latin culture, you have West Indian culture, you have you have that typical trap boy culture, with the dreads and gold teeth. Like Florida got so many like cultures in like one state. I mean, it's just like crazy to think that Florida is in the South. It's crazy to think that Florida, you have to drive through North Carolina, South, which like going on 95, I drive through, like some of the most red belt states to get to Florida, and yet people from New York and Jersey, don't mind living in Florida. Like people in New York who hate the South, who hate Southern culture, wouldn't mind living in Florida. Who wouldn't mind living in like Miami or anything like that, or Orlando or whatever, or Fort Lauderdale, one of those places that attracts a lot of like retirees and stuff like that. So Florida is definitely Miami is definitely a city I would love to visit. I just love Caribbean culture in general. Like being around Caribbean people is such a breath of fresh air. Living in North Carolina for so long, it's kind of cool to see see a black person with a foreign accent. Like it's really cool. I love like reggae, dancehall music. I love um, I love like Jamaican food, like my oxtails, my jerk chicken, and then I love my Spanish food. Like it's so. I would just love to visit Miami. It's just because it's just so cool and so hip. I mean, there's a reason why people love Miami. Then Miami also has a pretty notable hip hop scene. You got DJ Khaled, you have Rick Ross, you have who else? I mean, I know Two Got Crew was like put Miami on the map back in the '80s with the Miami bass. Like Miami just been like a huge part of hip hop culture. A lot of people forget how big Miami was. When it comes to like Southern hip hop, Miami pretty much invented Southern hip hop with the Miami bass movement in the '80s, and then to the '90s, and then into like to 90s 2000s, you have more artists come from Miami. Will Smith did a song dedicated to Miami. He's from Philly. Then the R&B scene is pretty big. You got Trey Songz. You got Ace Hood. Another Miami artist. So yeah, Miami is definitely a city I love to visit. So number five, you know, is the Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland. Oh my gosh. The Bay Area is just like so cool. I just love Bay Area slang. Like they used to say hella, they used to say words like cool, words like for sure, or what else? Gigging it, like the Bay Area just got some cool slang. It's just like really cool hip hop scene. The Bay Area, that's another city that has a long history of rap music. Like Bay Area is like the first West Coast city, like the worst West Coast city, like the pop. Like Bay Area was popping before LA was. In the early '80s when Too Short came out. So yeah, I love visiting San Francisco because it's like very cool. It's a West Coast city with the East Coast layout. It has like trains and buses and sidewalks like you see in New York. Also, spoken word is like it's a big part of San Francisco culture. It's very artsy, very creative. San Francisco has been known for the city that people to go to escape, the status quo. Like California in general has always been a state that's like, let's go somewhere different. Let's do something different than what everybody else is doing. Like California is like the state that always set trends versus like following other trends. So that's why I love this about Cali, like the Bay Area in particular, because so many like stuff happen in the Bay Area, like the hippie movement, the hyphy movement, and the hip hop scene. This stuff's so cool just to visit it today. So yeah, that's it for the top five cities I love to visit. I know there's some more places I want to visit, but usually just five that just in my head right now. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.